you're all doing great today. And in this video, we have another book reading. The title is 2024 QI. Facts to stop you in your tracks. It's a pretty thick book, and let's read the back. I'm hoping you can see everything. QI is the smartest comedy show on British television. Here, creator John Lloyd and QI elves James Harkin and Ann Miller bring together 2024 brand new brain-tickling facts to stop you in your tracks. And here we have a few of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Humans glow in the dark. The Pope drives a blue Ford Focus. One of the moons of Uranus is called Margaret. Scottish football referees are sponsored by Specsavers. Dogs visiting U.S. national parks can be certified as park rangers. The world's smallest computer is smaller than a grain of sand. Candy floss was invented by a dentist. That's the only one I know from all these, and nobody knows who named the Earth. So let's open it up. It looks like this is a huge series because we have the 2024 Q1 facts to stop you in your tracks, but there are also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books, and there's also the General Ignorance series, the Book of General Ignorance, the second book of General Ignorance, the third book of General Ignorance, and the Book of Animal Ignorance. And there's also Advanced Banter, the Q1 book of Quotations, the Q1 book of the Dead. And it looks like this one was published in 2018. The last thing one knows when writing a book is what to put at first. I think that's true of any piece of writing, including essays, theses, scripts, short stories. But I think it's better if we just get straight to the facts. Okay, let's begin. Nobody knows who named the Earth. 0 does not exist in nature. Without 0, modern electronics wouldn't exist. I think that probably refers to binary. According to many quantum physicists, there is no time. Time is the most used noun in the English language. The present moment is the most disorganized the universe has ever been. People who have had their brown lines removed with Botox find it harder to read difficult sentences. Wow, that's interesting. An altered state of consciousness can be achieved by staring into someone's eyes for 10 minutes. According to its CEO, Apple Incorporation is a competition because all obstacles have been brushed from their path of their parents. All Olympic curling stones come from the uninhabited island 10 miles from Glasgow. In 2017, Glasgow was voted the most dangerous and also the friendliest city in Scotland. Eyebrows evolved to make humans look friendly to one another. In the 10 seasons of Friends, the 6 main characters drink 1,154 cups of coffee. I wonder who counted those. The Hitler Youth only drank decaf coffee. Rats with low social status drink more than those with high social status. 20,112 rats were caught and killed in Hanoi on a single day in 1902. On a single day in 2018, volunteers in India planted 66 million trees. The palm trees in Los Angeles are the result of job creation scheme in the 1930s. Okay, that sounds interesting. I want to know more about that one. The way treetops avoid touching each other as they grow is called crown shyness. The queen practices wearing her crown for a week before the queen's speech. The queen takes a monogrammed candle with her on all foreign trips. The Teabag Boys, Yak Bowles, Cecil Otter, and Bus Driver are all names of professional rappers. Every year, Britons use enough wrapping paper to wrap the moon. If all the plastic in the world were cling film, it would wrap the earth. There is enough plastic in the world to make 25,000 Empire State Buildings, 80 million blue whales, or a billion elephants. The Queen has banned plastic straws from the royal estates. I'm not sure if this was recent because this one was published in 2018, so maybe she banned them before it was banned worldwide. I don't know. The first bendy straws were designed for use in hospitals. The A&E department at Leicester Royal Infirmary treated twice as many patients the weekend Leicester City won the Premier League. Football was banned in London in 1314 for being too noisy. In Arab countries, poetry competitions get better TV ratings than football matches. Footballers at Sweden's Östersunds Footballers Club, I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it wrong, are contractually obliged to read Dostoevsky. France has short story vending machines. In 2017, a book called 40 Minutes Late was returned to a San Francisco library 100 years late. More than half of all meetings start late. The chances of surviving a heart attack increase when the top doctors are absent from the hospital attending important cardiology meetings. The first meeting of War Propaganda Bureau was attended by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Thomas Hardy, and Rudyard Kipling. by Sigmund Freud's nephew. Oh, I know this one. It was Edward Bernays, and actually his idea was to go around and interview doctors about breakfast, because bacon, or a brand of bacon, wasn't selling in the US, and he wanted to make it sellable. So he went and asked doctors whether having a hearty breakfast was better than having no breakfast, and all doctors said, yeah, it's better to have a hearty breakfast, and he promoted fried bacon as a healthy breakfast, and that's how it became a thing in the US. I remember this one because I read it. It was a huge marketing scheme, and it worked. The Queen won't reveal her favorite meal in case she never gets served anything else. For the Queen's Diamond Jubilee, Marmite brought out a special edition called Marmite. I have no idea what that is. Alfred the Butler is the name of 12 different people in the Doomsday Book. The bookshelf was invented by Christopher Columbus's son. Children perform boring tasks better than when dressed as Batman. Well, no doubt, Wonder Woman was created by the inventor of the lie detector. Frania is Russian for lying even when everyone knows that's what you're doing. I wonder if there is an English word for that. If there is, let me know. Menkolek is Indonesian for tapping someone on the opposite shoulder to fool them. Oh, okay. Bamboo sharks shrug their shoulders to swallow their food. In the 1930s, artist Dorothy Peck invented an inverted underwater periscope so she could stay dry while catching fish. Oh wow, interesting. Swordfish track fast-moving prey in deep cold water by heating up their eyes. After Apollo 11 landed, the moon's temperature rose by 2 degrees Celsius. NASA's clean rooms are infested by microbes that resist the heat, desiccation, and radiation, and eat the cleaning products. The thermostat knobs in many hotel rooms don't work. They're rigged to save electricity. I know that one for a fact. From all the hotels I've stayed in, 80% of the closed door patterns in lifts are just for shows. The doors are on a timer. In 1986, 12 jurors got stuck in an Otis elevator in a courthouse on their way to hear a lawsuit against Otis Elevator Company. In 2017, a court in Indonesia blamed an increase in the divorce rate on the sudden popularity of pigeon racing. In Regina, California, it's illegal to own more than 90 pigeons. It's illegal to swim in the River Seine in Paris. In professional swimming, it's against the rules to wear two swimming costumes. In public pools in New York City, you are not allowed to hold your breath. In 2017, 70 students in Maryland drank so much alcohol at a party that the air in the house registered positive on a breathalyzer. Oh my god. Bridging parties celebrated boys Year's Day, it's traditional to throw an item of furniture out of the window. What if people walk on the street? Is that banned? Who knows? When New Year was moved in 1751 from 25th of March to 1st of January, there were only 282 days in the year. In ancient Egypt, the new year began whenever the Nile started to flood. I know it's pronounced Nile, but I always called it Nile. I think someone picked up on that on one of my previous videos. I like calling it Nile, so it's gonna be called Nile on this channel. N-E-I-L. Thank you. Ancient Egyptians mummified their cats and gave them mummified mice to torment in the afterlife. Catalan authorities regularly check websites ending with cat to ensure they're about Catalonian, not cats. Savannah is a breed of a cat that can be trained to play fetch and go for walks on a lead. If human eyes were in the same proportion as cats' eyes, they'd be 8 inches across. Honesty boxes with photos of eyes stuck on the wall next to them produce more money. Painting eyes on cows' bottoms stops lions attacking them. Rabbits hate being picked up because they think they're about to be eaten. Oh. Listening to talk radio can put pumas off their food. King George, is that the 5th or the 6th? I have no idea. Wedding was not broadcast on the radio in case people listened without removing their hats. A radio station in Texas that burned the Beatles records in 1966 was struck by lightning the next day. Not realizing his microphone was switched on, Ronald Reagan once joked that the US was about to bomb Russia. There are an estimate of 14,485 nuclear weapons in the world today. Airbnb's headquarters feature a replica of the War Room from Dr. Strangelove. Supersonic flypast at Idaho's new airport in 1959 smashed all the glass in the buildings and delayed the opening for the year. The first loop-the-loop roller coaster had to close down because so many people were passing out. Oh wow. Must have been going G-force or something, more than probably 3G. Who knows? Disneyland shut down its gondola rides because too many people were having sex on them. That's funny. When two prime numbers differ by 6, example 5 and 11, they are known as sexy primes. 6 times 9 plus 6 plus 9 is 69. The Babylonians were doing trigonometry 3,700 years ago. 5,000 years ago, human practiced brain surgeries on cows. Gaspar Tagliagocci, the pioneer of the nose job, developed his skills on a clinic called the Hospital of Death. The surgeon at the Battle of Sierra Negra in 1794 averaged an amputation every 4 minutes. Plastic surgeons are 8 times more likely to have had plastic surgery than the rest of us. People who think 7 cups of coffee a day are more likely to think... People who drink 7 cups of coffee a day are more likely to think they sense the pressure of the presence of dead people. Okay. Poltergeist is German for noisy ghost. The first planet discovered outside the solar system was named Poltergeist. Pluto's moon, Charon, was named by its discoverer after his wife's Charlene. Names of Greek ocean gods included Poseidon, Triton, Oceanus, and Doris. In 2006, a Greek court ruled it was no longer illegal to worship Greek gods. The world's first Christian nation was Armenia. Britain's first vegetarian church opened in a building called Beefsteak Chapel. Avocados are not vegan. I'm not sure if this is true, but I remember I read the research where it said that 1 in 5 avocado skins have salmonella. So ever since I read that, I wash my avocados before cutting them or doing, anything. I washed the skins because they found that, so I'm not sure if that's related, but I have to look it up. Mentioning guacamole on your dating profile gets you 144% more responses. The first contraceptive pill was developed by Mexican yams. Viagra can make your urine turn blue. Persian blue was discovered by German chemists trying to make red. Red placebo pills work better than blue ones. Yellow tennis balls, which look better on color TV, were the idea of David Attenborough when he was controller of BBC Two. Different tennis balls are used for men and women's matches. The men's are fluffier to slow them down. Table tennis was the first sport to abolish the distinction between amateurs and professionals. Football World Cup referees have to learn swear words in other languages. TITSUP is a military acronym for Total Inability to Support Usual Performance. Swipers is a retail industry acronym for seemingly well-intentioned patrons engaging in routine shoplifting. TASER is an acronym for Thomas A. Swift's electric rifle. In 2016, Australian police offer cash prizes to any drivers they found to be sober. Oh, that's bad. The oldest known boomerang is from Poland. Mount Kosciuszko. The highest mountain in Australia is named after an artificial mount in Poland. The summit of Mount Everest was one part of the ocean floor. The highest mountain on British soil is Antarctica. At Two Ocean Pass, Wyoming, a mountain stream splits into two. One flows into the Atlantic, the other into the Pacific. In 1949, Mohill, West Virginia was renamed Mountain. John Crawford. Is it Juan? Crawford was named by the readers of the movie magazine. On the set of Jaws, the shark was nicknamed Bruce after Steven Spielberg's lawyer. The first crime prosecuted using fingerprint evidence was a theft of some beard balls. largest theft ever investigated by Quebec police was of maple syrup. Between 1935 and 1937, Wisconsin law required all restaurant meals to be served with free cheese. The first use of the word mammoth as an adjective meaning big referred to a large cheese. The world's largest asbestos mine is in Asbest, Russia. The world's larger paper plane had 60-foot wingspan. Each pod on the world's largest Ferris wheel is equipped with a TV screen to starve off boredom. Season 7 of Game of Thrones was pirated more than 1 billion times. Michael Bond, creator of Paddington Bear, was a camera operator on Blue Peter. Paddington Bear wears a hat when swimming because Michael Bond's father always did in case he needed to raise it politely. The etiquette experts Debrets ran classes for 5-year-olds on learning how to navigate dinner parties. Alumnesia is the failure to remember the name of a former classmate. Scarifying is to tidy up quickly before visitors arrive. Cacocelia is the use of foreign words to make one appear un peu plus cultive. Trebentweets is German for the witty riposte that occurs to you too late. Joke comes from the same Latin word as a jewel. The redder a rabbit, the more it costs. Donald Trump's daughter Tiffany was named after the jewelers. Peter Carl Faberge made 50 exquisite Faberge eggs on one Faberge potato. Until they hatch, the eggs of cardinal fish are stored on the male's mounts, where 30% of them are regrettably swallowed. The hands of a human fetus touching the walls of the womb causes the fingerprints to form. Oh, I didn't know that. Elephants' ears plants look like they're deceased, so eggs won't be laid on them. Elephants can hear better with 1 foot off the ground. When his sound system failed, mime artist Marcel Marchal cancelled the performance. The mayor for Bogota hired 420 mime artists to shame traffic violators into driving better. The aim of the sacred combat of the Moch people of ancient Peru was to knock your opponent's head off. Peruvians are the world's fastest workers. The Latin for proud is superbum. Bum was defined in Dr. Johnson's dictionary as the part of which we sit. The word kleptomania was called Barcode Man. At Joan of Arc's trial, she was asked to comment on the hairstyle of the saints who appeared in her visions. A tiger's night vision is 6 times better than a human's. Humans glow in the dark. In a desert, the naked eye can see the glow of a major city from 120 miles away. Snowflake, Arizona was founded in 1878 by 2 men whose surnames were Snow and Flake. At the center of every snowflake is a single piece of dust. Claude Monet paid a gardener to dust his water lilies before he painted them. Van Gogh's olive trees has a dead grasshopper embedded to the paint. It's compulsory for Dutch school children to visit Rembrandt's paintings. As a schoolboy, legendary wrestler Andre the Giant was driven to school by his neighbor by playwright Samuel Beckett. Samuel Pepys went to performance of Twelfth Night on Twelfth Night, 1663, and thought it was a silly play and not relating at all to the name or day. The West End has fewer theatres than London's private schools. In 1907, a riot broke out in New York over a play in which a woman drank a glass of beer. Beer mats were originally placed on top of glasses to keep the dust out. In the Second World War, kegs of beer were flown to the front line of Spitfire pilots. One proposal to stop plane hijacking to Cuba in the 1970s was to build a fake Havana airport in South Florida. In 2016, a man from Wigan sent a pie into space to promote the World Pie Eating Championship. A smartphone contains more computing power than the whole of NASA had in 1969. In 1985, the New York City had 2,000 mobile phones, but only 12 of them could be used at any one time. A man in New York makes 500 a week collecting fragments of gold and jewelry from the city's pavements. New York cabs and Hertz rental cars have yellow branding because they were founded by the same man. The flute was invented before the wheel. Cement was invented before humans learned to cook meat. When Icelandic women staged an equal pay protest by refusing to do any cooking, all the supermarkets ran out of sausages. The world's longest sausage was 39 miles long. Volkswagen sells more sausages than cars. The Lord Howe Island steak instead is also known as the walking sausage. Sausage guitar is urban slang for air guitar played on stretched out. Yeah, I'm not reading that. When Brian May goes on tour, his guitar has its own bodyguard. In 2004, Somalian issued a set of guitar-shaped coins. In 2010, the National Mint of Chile issued thousands of coins stamped Chile. Goldman Sachs complained to Microsoft for autocorrecting their name to Goldman Sachs. Goldman instead of gold. Okay. American Kitchen Foods tried to rebrand peas by shaking them 1/3 of the fish caught around the world never get eaten. During the Second World War, fish and chip shops managers were exempt from military service. The Russian intelligence service keeps Hitler's teeth in cigar box. The UK has 50,000 self-service tills. British trains arriving up to 9 minutes late are counted as being on time. In 2017, a Japanese rail company apologized after one of its trains departed 20 seconds early. 509,000 Britons turn up late for work each day, costing the economy $9 billion a year. In Qing Dynasty China, the penalty for lateness was death. Mail theft in the US was a capital offense until 1872. Until 1971, the US Postmaster General was last in the line for succession in the presidency. Donald Trump is the first US president in 160 years not to have a bed in the White House. US President Zachary Taylor had never voted in a presidential election before he voted for himself. US President William McKinley could shake hands 50 times a minute. The world's oldest footprints are 500 million years old. The first scientists to study dinosaur footprints thought they were made by giant birds. Archaeopteryx is a bird-like dinosaur that was too heavy to sit on its own eggs without cracking them. The black feathers of the male bird of paradise absorbed 99.95% of light. The yellow-billed oxpecker bird sleeps in the armpit of a giraffe. Ancient Egyptians used giraffes' tails as fly swatters. A male giraffe drinks the urine of a female giraffe to see if it's ovulating. That sounds bad. Baby robins can eat so many caterpillars they turn green. Baby guillemots are called jumplings. Baby humpback whales drink 150 gallons of milk a day. Female whales have performed umbilical cords to snap off their birth so that the baby can swim to the surface for its first breath. When hibernating, woodchucks breathe as little as twice an hour. Breathing the air of New Delhi is equivalent to smoking 45 cigarettes a day. 1 in 3 smartphones in India run out of space every year because millions of Indians send daily good morning texts with images or video attached. In Honolulu, it's illegal to cross the street using a mobile phone. I am actually starting to get really tired, so I'm gonna end this video and probably do a part 2. We have a lot to cover. I wanted to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Sweet dreams.